What's poppin', world? I hope all is well. Thanks for tuning in. I couldn't wait to talk about this topic today. I could not wait to speak on this topic today. Today, we're going to speak about the benefits that come from marriage for a man, right? Many of these content creators are out here saying that men do not benefit from marriage, right? And that is the most insane thing that I've ever heard, right? They are saying that there are no benefits in marriage for a man, right? They are saying that there are no benefits, and they're telling men and women this, right? And they're not encouraging these men to get married in this day and age because of the quote unquote marriage laws in this day and age, right? They're telling these men not to get married. Now, the thing about it is, there are many benefits in marriage for a man. I'll begin by validating myself by saying I'm a man who's been married twice, right? And although those marriages weren't perfect, right, because I did divorce both of those women, I did reap a lot of benefits out of those marriages. I reaped a lot of benefits. Now, I would be lying if I said that I'm doing better now, even if we just speak financially, than I was doing in my marriage. No. I was doing better financially when I was in that legal marriage than I'm doing right now, right? Now, that's not to say that I'm doing bad or anything like that, but I would be lying if I said that I wasn't doing better while I was in the marriage financially. That would be a bold-faced lie. Now, we can say that there are bad marriages out here. Yes. Can we say that some people are married to people who they shouldn't be married to? Yes. Are there, or if in the case of a divorce, does a woman typically come out better than the man did? Yes. But that doesn't mean that the man does not benefit from the marriage. Now, in today's society, it can be true that it is harder to find a suitable mate, right? It's harder, right? Because of social media, because of feminism, because of Me Too and all that stuff right there. It is harder to find a suitable helper or a suitable mate. Why is that? Because these women have an inflated vision of themselves because of social media, because of all the attention they're getting, because everybody's in their inbox, so on and so forth. Everybody's liking their pictures, everybody's leaving comments, right? That makes it harder for a man to settle down with these women, because these women will not sit still, right? These women will not, quote unquote, act right in many cases, right? So these women have a superficial view of what a man looks like, or what a suitable man looks like for them, right? So sure, that's a problem, but that's a whole nother conversation, right? If we want to say it being harder to say find that suitable helper as a man, you know, as far as looking for a woman or finding that woman, right? Now, we got to remember this. Marriage is a godly institution, right? Marriage is a godly institution. So in order for me to make my case in this video, I'm going to have to lay a firm foundation. So with that being said, we're going to have to open up the Bible. In Genesis 2:18, right? It reads that no man should be alone. So God made a suitable helper, right, for Adam, and that was a woman. He made a suitable helper for Adam, right, and that was a woman. So a woman is to be a man's suitable helper. Now, that means she's a helpmate, right? She's going to help that man do whatever needs to be done, right? She's going to help him. That's number one. That's number one. It says no man should be alone, right? Then if we jump over to Ephesians 5:22 through 25, it speaks about both parties submitting to God. So the man and the woman submitting to God, then the woman submitting to the man, then the man loving the wife as Christ loved the church, right? But the key I want you to get out of that is, for one, they both submitting to God. Next, the woman is submitting to the man. So the man is the head of the woman. The man is the head. And then two, this husband is loving his wife, right? Remember, love is an action, right? You have to show love by moving a certain way in her life, right? That's how you love her, right? Then if you jump over to 1 Corinthians 3, 7, 1 Corinthians 7, 3 through 7. 1 Corinthians 7, 3 through 7, right? It speaks about neither party, right? The man or the woman depriving each other of sex, right? So when you kind of hit those key components, right, within that marriage, a lot of the problems go away because you have a distinguished position for this woman. So she's the helpmate. Remember, she's the helpmate. And then you figure out, okay, the man is the head, so he's the leader, right? And he is to love her. He's to love the woman. The man is to love the woman. And then when you get to the part about neither party depriving each other of sex, right? When you knock those components right there, oh, you already standing on a firm foundation. When you knock down those key points, you are already standing on a firm foundation. That's going to knock out a whole lot of the confusion right there. But you need to be standing on that firm foundation in order for you to reap the benefits that come of a marriage, right? You got to be standing on a firm foundation. If you try to make your own rules or go based off of what the society is saying do or what the society is saying marriage looks like, you're going to have all kind of problems. But if you can lay a firm foundation and lean on that, you're going to be straight. See, in my marriages, right, that foundation got wobbly once we got into it. Now, we agreed to the foundation prior to getting into the marriage. But once we got in it, that foundation started wobbling, and those women, they kind of didn't stand firm on what God's word was on the marriage, right? So I had to hit that eject button and get out of there when I realized, I don't know, this ain't going to work, right? So with that being said, I ended up not having to do alimony or none of that because I got out early enough, right? Because when you look at alimony, they look at how long you guys were married and then how much you guys were making, what was you all's salaries, right? So there's a calculation system. Alimony is not automatic, right? They're going to see what was the length of the marriage and how much were you all making. See, I was able to get out early, so even on the part with about the length of the marriage, it was so short that they like, oh, yeah, we can't get him. Y'all weren't married long enough, right? So it's a way to do it, but you got to realize these things early on. That's why it's important to vet. Even though I vetted well in the early stages, even before marrying, once we got into it, I still was able to observe and see how this woman or these women were going to move, right? So I was able to bust a move before I got caught up in any mess, if you understand what I'm saying, right? I didn't have to, I didn't stay long enough to have to pay any alimony or anything like that, right? It is what it is, right? Because I'm going to be firm regardless, right? I'm going to be firm on God's word regardless of who I'm with, right? So once again, once you lay that firm foundation, you don't have to worry about many of those things. Now, let's get back to the marriage and the benefits for a man, right? Let's get back to it. Now, once you got that foundation laid, there are many things that a man can benefit. Now, I'm going to speak on these things. Now, peace. A woman should be your peace. When you come through that door or when you're on that phone with her, she should be your peace, right? You should be able to explain yourself. She should be very agreeable. Issues you have or problems you're currently solving, she should be your peace in doing that, right? She should be your peace, right? Sex, we just spoke on that. Neither party should withhold sex from each other, right? So as a man, you have sexual needs. Don't let anyone tell you different. As a man, you have sexual needs. That woman should be able to fulfill those consistently for you, right? So that's going to take a weight off your shoulders right there, sexually, right? Household duties. Every man is different. Some men don't want to require their women to do the household duties. Some men do require that, right? Whether that's cooking, cleaning, watching the kids, whatever the case may be, folding clothes, whatever, right? Vacuuming the floor, whatever the case may be. Household duties. By a woman being able to do that for you, that is a benefit for you, right? If you can set that type of thing up in your program or in your system. Once again, childbirth, right? Woman having your children. That is a benefit for you as a man. Your legacy will carry on. That is why they take your last name, right? That is a benefit for you, right? If you do a great job, people are going to look at you and say, man, you did great. So that makes a man feel good, right? Him getting getting that pat on the back, those accolades, whatever you want to call it. But your legacy being carried on, that is a benefit for you as a man, right? Another thing, bills. If a woman is working, whether it's part-time, full-time, whatever the case may be, that is going to help you as a man benefit as the head of that household, right? She's helping you to live a quote-unquote better lifestyle, right? If she's helping you with those bills, guess what? You can afford a better house. You can afford to drive better cars, so on and so forth. Live a better lifestyle, take better vacations, right? Bills, right? Finances, right? A woman that is, say, working, whether it's part-time, full-time, or for you, you are going to benefit from that ultimately as a man. You are going to benefit at the end of the day. Credit, right? A woman can help you build your credit, right? Through those finances, through those financial situations. I know in my second marriage, my credit was okay, but my ex-wife at the time, she helped me build her credit up to an even higher level, right? By advising me on certain things that she had learned along the way as she built her credit before she met me. And then also just helping with the financial side of things. My credit score went up when we got together, you know what I mean? Just by some of the tactics that she knew. So just those things alone, right, will help benefit a man in regards to a marriage. Now, once again, finding a suitable helper, that's one thing. But like I said, in regards to a marriage, there are many benefits for a man as I just listed. Now, also, there's stats that show that men do better when they have a woman in their corner who is loyal, who is respectful, right? Who is by their side, and a woman who has genuine desire for that man. Remember that. A woman who has genuine desire for you is very important. Now, a lot of these guys, all the things I listed, they're like, man, we can outsource for that. We can pay somebody to have sex with us. We can pay somebody to clean the house. We can pay somebody to cook. We can pay somebody to watch the kids. We can pay somebody all this stuff they want to pay somebody. But once again, men who have to pay for these things to be done are not truly happy. These men are not truly happy. You take a man who has to pay somebody to do all this stuff for him, and you take a man who has a woman, a wife in his corner doing all those things for him with genuine desire to do it for that man and serve that man is going to be truly happy who has a woman who is doing those things with genuine desire for that man. This man who has to pay people to do these things, he's not fully happy. Even if he has a woman. In many cases, the men that I do know men who outsource some of these things. That man is not truly happy. He wishes he can trade that wife off for somebody else, right? He wishes he can trade her out for somebody else, right? A lot of these men, they want to deal with women. You know, now it's maybe in a man's nature to see other women and be like, oh man, that might be nice if I, But I know these men who are outsourcing for these things, and they wish they can trade that woman off for a woman who can take care of those things, right? They are jumping at every woman that comes in their sight trying to have sex with that woman behind closed doors, right? These men are not truly happy when they have to outsource for these things and pay somebody else to do these things, right? Now, when a man is with a woman or women in general, help a man strive to become the best version of himself, right? That is why many of these platforms, they get the viewers and the views and the comments when they have women on the stage, on the platform, or they're speaking about women. These platforms will get big. I've seen a lot of creators complain when they start just talking about like money. They do shows on money and stuff like that, and they don't have the same crowd to show up. The same crowd doesn't show up when they're not talking about women or when they're not involving women. But when women are involved, these guys have a big turnout, a lot of viewers, a lot of comments, a lot of likes when there are women on the scene. That is for a reason. A woman helps a man become the best version of himself just for her presence alone. I'm not even saying she has to be actively doing anything, but her presence alone will make a man perform better. That's what this whole idea is of having cheerleaders, right, at these athletic events. These women are going to push these men to work harder. It's a natural thing. If I'm in the gym working out, let's just say if it's empty or if it's just all guys, I'm going to be hitting the weight. I'm going to be doing my thing. But let a woman walk in there that I'm attracted to and she comes around me as I'm working out, I'm going to do a couple of extra sets, right? If I'm on that treadmill, I'm going to hit that button, turn that speed up a little bit more. I think I can run a little bit faster. You know what I mean? I'm going to show off a little bit, right? It has always been that way. There's a reason why when some guys, when these guys are in groups and say a female come around, you always got that one or two guys in a bunch who start acting a little bit more funnier. They kind of start turning on the boys a little bit, start cracking the extra joke that's unnecessary. It's because that woman, right? It's in a man's nature to try to impress a woman, right? It's in a man's nature to try to impress a woman. So if you have a woman in your life, right? Let's just say a wife, you are gonna go a little harder at what you do if she's the right woman. Now, if you got a woman you don't really care about, she ain't all that. Yeah, you might move how you move. You tired of she old news or she ain't all that anyway. But if you got a woman who you love and admire, you are gonna go hard because she is there, right? You are gonna go a little bit harder, and that's just a fact. Now, some gonna say, like I said before, oh well, that's a woman, but who said I gotta get married? Now, when I speak of marriage, I'm not necessarily speaking about legal marriage, right? I also believe in spiritual marriage. Remember, biblically speaking, a marriage took place whenever a man and a woman became one, right? Whenever they became one, whether that be in sex or whatever. But that's when a marriage took place, right? This whole legal system, I'm not necessarily talking about the legal system, right? Even though I've been bonded within the legal system before, but I'm not necessarily speaking about the legal system when I speak about marriage. But what I'm speaking about is a man and woman becoming one and bonding together when I talk about marriage. I don't have to talk about that. I'm not necessarily speaking about the legal system, right? There's a such thing as spiritual marriage, right? That's actually more important than you getting married legally on paper. Two people can be legally married on paper and be very far apart from each other, right? They can look at it as a business contract, which means they're not really bonded like that. They are on paper, but not in real life, not in spirit. But that spiritual bond is what makes a man and a woman truly married in God's eyes. Now, like I was saying, men strive to be the best version of themselves typically when they have a woman in their life that they admire, right? Think about there are a lot of guys out here who wouldn't even keep up with their hygiene if it wasn't for women, right? They wouldn't keep their teeth brushed as they should. They wouldn't bathe and take showers and baths as they should, right? You have a lot of guys who the main reason they're at the dentist is because their wife pushed them to go to the dentist, right? The main reason they're at the doctor is because their wife pushed them to go to the doctor and take care of themselves, right? Women help men become the best version of themselves. That is hands down. Hands down. Even from a mental health standpoint, people are deleting themselves left and right. People are stressed out. People are depressed. All of this is in correlation with the rate of the divorces going on and the rate of the breakup, social media, all this stuff, right? Mental health, right? The fall in good mental health is on the rise, right? The fall is on the rise because you have a lot of individuals who are not coping well. They're missing a lot. A lot of people out here that's single, trying to live their best life, chasing after money, chasing after everything else while neglecting relationships and marriage, right? But this mental health crisis is on the rise. Mass shootings are on the rise. People taking other people out. I mean, this stuff is happening on a daily basis. It wasn't always this way, but we have an issue with mental health and everything else, but it's all in correlation with the lack of relationships and marriages going on, right? The lack of having that love, right? There's a lack of love. That is why all these things are happening, right? All of these things are happening in correlation with each other, right? You cannot separate the two, although some people do want to. You cannot separate the two. Many of these things are going on because there is a lack of love out here. That is why you have a lot of these issues arising. There is a lack of love. There's a lack of love. Now, let's see here. Also, take this into consideration. Look at all the rape cases going on People being accused of doing this to these women, doing that to these women, so on and so forth. That would not be going on if these men were married or bonded to one woman, right? If they dealt with one woman. All these situations would happen. Even look at the Deshaun Watson case, right? With him and all these masseuses and him getting stroked down by these. That wouldn't be going on if he was married and bonded to one woman, right? That wouldn't be going on. It would be less likely for that to happen. But because he was living the lifestyle he was living, he's going from masseuse to masseuse to masseuse. Whether it's true or not, that's what they do and the extent of it. But the point is, if this man was married and settled with one woman, that wouldn't be going on. Just like the other cases of these men doing these things. It would not be going on if they were married and committed, truly committed to one woman, right? That would eliminate most of their problems, right? This stuff wouldn't be going on. Look at Andrew Tate, right? The stuff going on with him. This stuff would not be going on if he had chosen to commit and settle and be with one woman, right? Deal with one woman. All this stuff wouldn't be going on. All these allegations wouldn't be going on if he chose to settle down and chill out with one woman. This stuff would not be going on. And it's just a fact, right? But most people don't want to talk about the truth. They want to beat around the bush. But I'm here to keep it real with y'all. There are many benefits for men in marriage. There are many benefits for men in marriage. Now, what do you say going from here, right? What do you say going from here? Now, many of these guys are operating out of fear. They're telling other men not to get married because they fear losing assets, losing money, being cheated on, all this other stuff, right? All this other stuff. And the truth of the matter is, they're not becoming the best version of themselves. Or even if they do, they're afraid to lose it all behind a woman. They operate out of fear. But as a man of God, I encourage everyone to move out of or operate out of faith, right? You should operate out of faith, not out of fear, right? Another thing, if you're a man out here, you're having a hard time, you became the best version of yourself, and you still can't find a woman, hey, do like the passport bros. You might have to step outside of the U.S. and find you one of those old traditional women who were raised to be traditional, right? Many of those guys are illustrating a lifestyle that shows that there are women out there who will cooperate with you with no problem, right? There are women out there that will do it. Take a page out of their playbook. Go ahead, get you a woman from a different country. Take a page out of their playbook. It is what it is if you got to resort to that. Get you a woman from another country. But guys, it is best that you bond yourself with a woman, right? For the best results in life, it is best that you bond with a woman. Now, you want to make sure that she's a suitable woman, so not just anybody, right? Don't just bond with anybody, but find you a suitable helper. Find you a suitable helper who will help you become the best version of yourself, right? Or live the best life, or have that peace, right? Or take care of the things that you need as a man, right? Women out here, there are women out here that will do that. There are women out here who do that. And once again, like I said, marriage is also beneficial for men, not just women. It is also beneficial for men. But thanks for watching. Like this video, share this video, leave a comment in the comment section. I could be off on this. Also subscribe to the channel. I know you ain't subscribed yet because this is a new channel. My other channel, Maury Speaks to Beast, I got over 7,000 subscribers, but now I'm trying to build this one up. Please help me do that. And remember, guys, keep God first. I love you all. Be blessed.